Alright guys, we're gonna go on an adventure. A quick one, but an adventure. Today's a nice day, so I better take advantage of it. Quite a few of you said you wanted to see another video on the old dump truck. Well, have we got an adventure today. We're going to drive it up to Granite Ghost Town. And just like most places, that's about 6 miles from here. But it's straight up a mountain. And it's on a narrow road. And, you know, Godspeed on those people that are coming down the mountain when I'm going up. But first we got to go to town and get some gas in it. And I haven't driven it since, well, I drove it around the backside of my house. So, that's what we're doing this afternoon. And I will bring you back when we get going somewhere. Alright, well, either a good thing or a bad thing. I've got a full cab today. Well, let's see if she'll start. Like a glove, or I guess like a sewing machine. This time I won't have my finger in the camera because I got the camcorder today. But I still have the problem of trying to steer this and hold the camera at the same time. You're gonna have to hold it. You're gonna have to be the cameraman. So Granite Ghost Town came around in the 1890s and was pretty significant. I think at its heyday it was 10,000 or 20,000, and I'm not entirely sure on those numbers, but it was a pretty big place at one time. All that's left of it now is a few remains and a bunch of foundations and some buildings. Not a whole lot of anything. It actually got burnt up in a fire, I believe. Or the head frame fell. I don't remember. It seems like I've been told both things. The fire burned it down, or finally all the buildings just collapsed. So, I don't know, again, same thing. But I do know it's on an unmaintained road, and as soon as you get to the road, it's going to tell you in a big sign, this road is not maintained, and I think it says it's 4 or 5 miles up the road too, so that's what we're going to be doing. powerful city of Phillipsburg, Montana. Generally come from up over there. I'm doing my little loops and whatnot, and we end up over there. But pretty much everything we're going up is uphill now. I chose today, other than the other days, because, well, it's slightly cool today. I think it's in the mid-60s maybe. So figured I'd try it on a cooler day. That's where we went to go see the other dump truck, was that way. This is the road that we always come up through those mountains right there. So, well, we'll get to the Granite Road and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, well, this is Granite. What's wrong with this dog?
He's reverse sneezing.
That's what you said. Steep, narrow road. Travel at your own risk. It's gonna get steep and it's gonna get narrow. I want to say somewhere there was a sign that said it was 5.5 miles. Wasn't that, Chelsea? Yeah. I don't know that it's 5.5 miles, but I bet it's 3 miles. But it's all straight up a mountain like we're going right now. If I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'll drive up that road with this dump truck. And I promise that. And of course that could take 40 years to happen, so you know, this truck might have a Tesla engine in it by then, I don't know. So I had mentioned in some of my videos that there's a coulee that they kind of dumped old cars in. Well, we're actually coming up to that. You know, this is a steep hill when it's grunting a little bit in second gear. I think they cleaned out some of the cars since I've been here, but hopefully you guys can see that. I gotta get around this curve. This is a steep hill here too. Oh. That's how far we're coming up. We're coming up pretty quick up this mountain. Phillipsburg is down there in the flats. Our temperature gauge is just at 160, so we're doing all right. Like I said, I think we're just gonna cruise in second gear up this mountain. Could rain on us, but that don't matter because we don't have windshield wipers up here. I guess while we're driving, I can tell you there's one animal in these mountains that we just don't see. I've never seen, and I've talked to some of the locals and they say they used to be everywhere, but they don't see them anymore. And that's porcupines. There hasn't been a sign of a porcupine up here in years, and I've never seen one up here, but they used to be all over. So I don't know. We do have, I would say, an overpopulation of foxes. So I don't know if maybe foxes were picking them off or what. No one behind us yet. We're just a touch over 160, but that's all right. We'll take our time. I'm not flooring it yet. I'm just kind of in the throttle, so it's gonna be a slow crawl. I don't know, that's probably like -5 miles an hour, but we'll say it's 5. We can go up this faster than you can walk up here, right, Chelsea?
Yep.
Yeah. We're in high range still, so I haven't even had to think about putting it in low range yet. I haven't even put it in low gear yet, so. I'd say this is one of the steeper curves we got to go up. Well, am I going to have to downshift? Nope, we made it around it. Now we're going straight up. I should have looked and told you guys what the elevation is, but trust me, we're up here. We're up here a ways. Those are pretty tall mountains right over there. And I think we're gonna go higher than those mountains. When we get up here, we'll be able to get the view of exactly how high we are. Well, this is pretty much what we're gonna be going up here for a while, so I'll bring you back when we find something interesting, or we start overheating, or we break down, or we run into a tourist. Well, I think we're about, I don't know, halfway, maybe. We're just a touch over 160 still, so we've been maintaining this speed up the mountain. Been crawling right up it. Now another thing too I got a lot of comments about was the engine. This probably had a 216 in it originally with Babbitt bearings, but that's long gone. Somebody installed a later full pressure 235 in this, and it's not a blue flame, it's just a regular truck 235. But the 53 truck that I drive around sometimes, it's got the 216 in it, but it's got bad rod bearings or something, because in the videos, if you listen, you can hear it really knocking. And it's always knocked since I've had it. And I'm pretty sure it was knocking when my neighbor parked it back in '91, so. But you know, it runs good enough. I'm not worried about the knock. If that 216 does go bad on me, I've got a rebuilt 235, so it's definitely not a big deal to me. But well, like I said, we're still crawling up the mountain. We're still between 212 and 160, if that makes anybody feel better. I've had this old girl up to 212, so I think we're doing pretty good if we're staying at a little just over 160. wish we could tell you how steep this hill is. It is steep. This mountain road is steep. In fact, if you guys do any research, Granite had the first weighted tram system, I think, in the United States, where they used the ore to come down this mountain on a big tram, and the ore would come down and pull the empty carts back up the mountain. And some of the towers are still kind of standing, but most of it's gone. But the reason I'm telling you that is that's how high up this mountain we go. We go almost to the top of the mountain to get there. And Granite itself was a silver and magnesium mine. I don't think any of the mines over here were actual gold mines. Again, I'm not entirely sure. Sorry about that. I thought I was going to have to downshift it. Just barely made that curve hill in second gear. But again, we're in high range, so I'm pretty proud of the old girl. Now, I've spoke many times of Stewart Lake. That road's even steeper, but it's only like a mile and a half maybe. That one there, I'll probably be first gear all the way up, is what I'm gonna guess. But this road's not too terrible. We've seen Corvettes come up this road for some reason, and I guarantee you they went slower than I'm going right now, but uphill traffic has the right of way. Little do they know, downhill traffic in the dump truck has the right of way too. So the road's gonna start getting more narrow and more windy. But the plus is we're gonna start getting into shade here for a while. Alright, well, we had to pass some traffic. It's getting warm. She definitely wasn't excited about starting that last time, but she did start. Because they died when I put it in, took it out of first gear, so. Alright, we don't have too much more of a journey to go, but hopefully we don't run into anybody because this is the narrowest, hardest part of the road. So. Fall down more since we've been here? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, the old truck cooled off actually a little bit. I was pretty surprised in that. Well, you're really in trouble if we come across anybody on this part of the road. Hey, look, a boulder fell out in the road. That road's gonna be pretty doggone narrow. Well, we made it around her. Well, now this wouldn't be a proper trip unless we crawled over some nasty stuff. We're gonna try to make it up to the viewing bench. That's gonna be a nasty little road. Not very long, but it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, I think. So basically, we're passing foundations, and you can kind of see a foundation over there. There would have been houses and stuff all over the place here. Even the Freemasons are up here. There's actually a big concrete Freemason cube. I'm not really sure what it was for, but it's here. Well, this is going to be our first obstacle. It's ill-advised to drive your dump truck over this.
Yep.
Go. The second part. I would tell you right now, don't think I would drive the 53 up here. It's not because I don't think you would make it, it's because it's not a very tall truck. This dump truck has got some clearance, so I'm not really worried about these big holes I'm driving through.
See if he can run me over. Oops, sorry guys.
Well, unfortunately, everybody, we were going to do some videotaping, but everybody showed up. So underneath that ridge over yonder is Phillipsburg. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how high up we actually are. So we climbed this whole entire mountain range just now. Now again, people, I don't mind tourists. People are going to come up here and look, and that's great. The only thing I say is, don't crowd each other. That's one thing I notice. You can't usually sit down still somewhere very long and then everybody shows up. But it is a tourist spot. So. They're going to get really mad when they get behind us. Because I'm just going to be first gear crawling down this stuff. So that little brick house right there, just for your guys' knowing, that was the warming hut, I believe. So when you climbed out of the mine shaft in the dead of winter, you would go inside of that at a certain temperature, because being in the ground all day was a different, temperature. You were hot and sweaty and wet. And you'd go inside that thing, I think, to dry off and cool down to a different temperature so you didn't get hypothermia. Again, that's what I've been told. Is that true? I don't know. Sounds like a good theory. Oh. Oh. I definitely wouldn't recommend driving your 47 dump truck down this. Dump truck's got an easy drive back down the mountain, I can tell you that right now. I made poor old Chelsea walk this whole hill up here after videotaping me. I said, no, I'm not stopping. I'm too scared. That might have been our tire hitting that rock there. I don't know. As far as I know, we don't have a flat. Chelsea, did you get out and check the tires before we left?
Sure.
Yeah, she says we don't have a flat. That there's a water line, if you can see it. Phillipsburg gets their water from Fred Burr, which if you were to keep traveling up this old nasty road, you eventually get there. Now, this dump truck may get up to Fred Burr, but there's a bridge that I don't think it would cross. So there's the old vault, that little brick thing right there. That used to be where they kept all the gold, or silver, excuse me. All the good ore was kept in there. Alright guys, well we're going to descend down this hill and we're going to start going down the mountain. There's the Freemason thing I was talking about. So, well, we made it down. I guess while I'm stopped, I'm just gonna give the tires a kick. Yep. Mud flap's still there. Yep. Steer tires are there. Well, guess we'll start descending the hill here. Gas coming out of the gas tank, check. Good shape. Alright. Well, the old truck is backfiring a little bit as it's de-accelerating down this hill. But we're so high up in elevation, it doesn't surprise me that it's running a little bit rough. But once we get back down to Phillipsburg, it'll run just fine. But other than that, she's still running, still starting. Tires are still there. I didn't check the engine, but I think the engine's still there. A grouse. Dog trying to get the grouse. I guess we gotta play nice with the people coming up the road and we have to yield to them, so good luck everybody else. Temperature is cold way off because we haven't been doing nothing. It's actually one of those tram things there in the trees, but probably didn't get it on camera. Wasn't looking for it. If I see another one, I'll try to get it on camera for you guys. We're gonna have a horde. I think 7 side-by-sides. 4-seater showed up behind us, so there's one of those trams right there. That's what's left of them, but those things went all the way down this mountain. And that's how they got the ore down. I was told too that people would ride those things down sometimes. That would be a blast back in those days before OSHA. Just jump in the ore bucket and drive it on, fly all the way down to Phillipsburg with it. I guess you could jump in the bucket and fly all the way back up too, theoretically, so that would be kind of fun. Scary. I'm sure it wasn't very safe, but as somebody wrote in their comments as I drive this truck, back when men were men. So, well, we're just gonna descend down the old mountain here. And yeah, we'll I think when we get to the end of the video here, I'll show you guys the engine. I don't even know if I've ever had the engine shown in this truck. That way you guys can see it and we'll call her a day. Alright, well, we've made it back. Down, that's where we usually go, the back way of my house. We're gonna opt to go the normal way because we can. Well, the old dump truck made it. Who would have thought? I guess this is just one of these experiences you'd have to come and do yourself to understand the road and what we went up. Or maybe you were watching this video and you've been up that road. But all I can say is that was successful. So now we just gotta make it home. Alright, well, we made it back. Let's check the engine. See if it's there. Yep, still there. And I think that's why our throttle was having some issues. We had a couple small issues with our throttle, but I think it was that choke wire getting all wrapped up in it. But it's got a 235 in it. Really doesn't leak too much oil. As you can tell, it's a pretty clean block. Really doesn't have too much blow by, really. A little bit of oil coming out of the breather, but what was that, Chelsea? Are you trying to give me sign language?
No, we're going home. My kiss.
I'll let him run out in the road. Look at that radiator. That thing is massive. Well, she made it. She didn't overheat. And that's all I can say about it. Oh, and that's the factory color, that blue color. I haven't decided if I'm going to hand brush this truck or not. I'd like to get a horn working. So, well, everybody, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know it's a little boring, probably me just driving around and stuff, but I'm kind of saving the real mechanicking stuff for this winter, because the winters are long and very cold, and I need something to do this winter. I'll need something to videotape. So. Alright, well, don't tell anybody where I hide my key. Until the next video, thanks for watching.